the closing stages of this windstorm. Some parts of Everest might be easy, but there's always nature.
The storm just kept getting worse. Tents were being ripped off the mountain. I remember at one stage, 2 climbers from other tents who'd lost all of their belongings came in to join Hubert and myself, and together the 4 of us tried to keep our tent alive and our dreams of an Everest summit with it. Eventually we all realized we had to go down, and we struggled, and we made it back to the safety of the North Col. I was in my tent and I was absolutely shattered. The night had come and it was freezing outside. And then I found out that there was a climber still up high, lost in the storm. I looked to Hubert and he was in a pretty bad way. He'd been the main brunt of the storm and the reason that we'd been able to keep our tent up. He'd been using his neck to basically shelter us both against the wind. And I didn't know what to do. I knew that if I went out to try and look for him, my expedition would be over, because I was struggling at that moment. My lungs were already starting to fill with liquid in the early stages of edema. And I made the call to go out and look for him. I put on my big jacket, got my ice axe and my boots, and I mentally surrendered my summit attempt. I followed the fixed lines, slowly back up the mountain, shouting with what little voice I had left to try and find him. What seemed like a really long time passed, and I was having no luck. And then finally, as I was about to give up, a head torch came on and it signaled where he was. Unfortunately, he was hours and hours and hours away, and there's just no way I could have rescued him. I turned around and I headed back up to my tent. And by the time I got there, I was in a pretty bad way. I was in tears, still struggling to breathe, not knowing what to do.